The original promise of No Man's Sky, having a near infinite procedural universe to explore, still holds true 7 years after its original release. At the time, the game met with critical reception, since exploring that space was just about the only thing you could do in the game. While there's far more to enjoy now, that procedural generation still drags the experience down. The continual stream of fresh content for No Man's Sky is truly impressive. Every few months, the developers release major updates that add content, refine some aspect of the game, or even introduce entirely new mechanics. These patches make players want to frequently come back and play for a while, even if only to explore whatever has been updated since their last session. However, once the newness rubs off, the lack of significant variety makes playing much longer an exercise in tedium, unless you really like pure exploration. Each planet of a given biome, every space station, the structures, and even most of the creatures quickly start to run together. The stations in particular have the exact same look and layout no matter where you go in the galaxy, which is super disappointing. While No Man's Sky is billed as a survival exploration game, the survival elements are practically non-existent due to the abundance of every resource, and it's effectively an extremely open-world sandbox game. The primary exploration mechanic generally involves cataloging wildlife on the various planets you decide to visit, or looking for various sites that reveal a bit of the lore of the game. The various scanners attached to your gun, ship, and other equipment prove very useful for this, and there's always something to go visit, mine, or harvest no matter where you are on a given planet. And there are no artificial restrictions on where you can go, flying anywhere in space or a planet that you want, with a seamless transition between the two. Hampering your resource gathering activities are the Sentinels, robots on pretty much every planet who basically want you to leave it alone. On some planets, they would prefer that you simply weren't there at all. Sentinels also provide the primary opponent for land-based combat. There's a strange tension in No Man's Sky around combat. A large number of technologies and options are available to make it a customizable experience, yet the game heavily discourages you from actually engaging in it. Until recently, you couldn't actually win fights unless it was against some random predator. Enemies would come at you in endless waves until you escaped or died. This is still true for the biological horrors, but now Sentinel waves will cap at 5, and defeating that final wave will temporarily halt all Sentinel activity on the planet, which is a welcome enhancement, but defeating the later waves is not trivial at all, and hardly worth the risk. Space combat is a little better, as there are pirates to fight as well, and those don't have waves of new enemies. On the other hand, the most effective way to fight in space is to use the auto-aim system to avoid endless manual turning to line up a shot, which kills a lot of the tension. One way to get out of a fight is simply to run into a building, to which you can add your own creations to the procedurally generated fare. Custom bases are easy to put together, and there's a wide variety of options to use when constructing them. The main issue with them is that aside from being a place to put your storage containers, farming plots, and some quest givers, you don't really need one for anything. The vast majority of items to put there are purely for decoration. Later in the game, you're presented with a large capital ship as a mobile base, but apart from sending out expeditions for more supplies, it doesn't do anything your regular base can't, and since you can teleport to your base from any space station, doesn't end up adding all that much value. There are other mechanics, including underwater bases and exploration, working through creepy derelict freighters, and even destroying large pirate dreadnoughts. The problem is that while No Man's Sky is great at giving you lots of things to do, it gives you very few reasons to actually do them. There is a quest system to try and provide some impetus to try out various mechanics, and following these compose the vast majority of my playthroughs. While they're entertaining, for the most part they simply serve as extended tutorials. The main story is an exception, but it lacks any uniqueness in the game apart from some dialogue and lore. You simply go to a marked spot, usually craft something, go to the next spot, and repeat. There are also an endless amount of procedurally generated missions that grant various rewards, asking players to do things from taking a picture of a specific type of building or planet to destroying a certain number of sentinels. Apart from a few quests that require these to be done, there's no real reason to do them other than for the payment at the end though. Seasonal expeditions are better, providing a wide variety of tasks and unique rewards. There isn't always one available though, and each one is only good for 5 to 10 hours of gameplay. The morality in No Man's Sky seems ambiguous. The Sentinels are more or less the galactic police, so it feels strange fighting with them, or performing actions that would incite them. However, those actions are usually just destroying some rock for its resources. Add in the planets where they'll attack you on sight, and it feels like there are no real good guys in the game. The pirates are obviously bad, until you realize that they are primarily people who are rebelling against that tyranny, which makes it feel like there aren't really bad guys either. The story is also heavily invested in simulationist philosophy, which is ironic considering the game is of course just a simulation. The player is also completely unable to actually accomplish anything. According to the game, life is utterly meaningless apart from that which we create for it. While it's not obnoxious or shoved down your throat, it's obviously at odds with the Christian worldview. Due to the worldview presented, I'm giving a No Man's Sky a 3 out of 5 for morality. As far as quality, there's a lot of really good mechanics present, but not enough impetus to actually go and explore them. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. With the constant stream of updates, I'm looking forward to its potential to get even better.